how Tony Robbins changed my life in 3 simple steps. Welcome back to another video. I'm Maximilian. I help entrepreneurs reprogram their life, rewire their mind for happiness, success, abundance, fulfillment, and confidence. You name it, I do it. Be grateful for everything what you've got. This is the first and the foremost step that you need to understand. Be grateful for the little things. Be grateful for the fact that you can see, hear, smell, taste, touch. Some people aren't so lucky. And one of the greatest videos, I will maybe add it in here, is change your expectations for appreciations, and your whole life will change in that instant. We expect more from others, more than what we are giving. We will never be as happy as if we just appreciate for what they've done. We appreciate for who we are. We appreciate for who they are. People in life, we can't expect other people to make us happy. That's down to us. That's in here, in the heart. It takes steps to make yourself happy. It takes steps to change your life. Why not follow a proven strategy in order to get the steps that you want to do to change your life? And this is the first thing. Be grateful for what you have already. Now you may be watching this video thinking, but I have nothing to be grateful for. Let me take you on a little backstory of a little old me. 5 years ago, I had no money, I had no friends, I lost all my friends, I left all my friends, and that was my fault, but I needed to do that. No money, no friends, no job, nothing. I had nothing. I had to sell all my stuff because I had no job, so I literally sold my Xbox, my TV, all my shoes. I had to sell everything because I had no money. So I could have sat there and been, oh, life's just against me. Don't get me wrong, I did initially. When I heard Tony Robbins say that, change your expectations for appreciations, your whole life will change in that instant, I said, what do I have? I've got a car. It's not the best, it's not amazing. Start with something. And now it's for the ability that I can see, hear, smell, taste, touch, breathe, walk, make videos like this. It's the little things that really bring me appreciation now. But before I was like, what can I appreciate? My car. What can you appreciate? Your phone. What could you appreciate? Your computer, your laptop. The fact that you have a bed. Find something and really focus on that state of gratitude, because when you're in that state of gratitude, that is the ultimate state of receivership. When you start to live in a state of gratitude, it's like you've already received it, and going to the law of attraction and even touching into the basics of the quantum physics, what Joe Dispenza explains, when you sit in a state of gratitude, your life begins to receive that which you are trying to manifest, because it's just like when someone brings you something, when you're sitting down at a table, you say thank you for your food because it's been received. When someone gives you something, you say thank you. When you are saying thank you, it's like the universe is giving you something and you're saying thank you, so the universe is going, you're already grateful, I'll help you out more. Just like if a waiter sees a group of people, if that group of people are very mean, nasty, they're not going to be as attentive with those specific people. Whereas if you constantly are saying, thank you, I appreciate you, you're amazing, to this waiter, they're going to come over, they're going to bring you more, they're probably maybe even going to give you a free dessert, and I've had that before. So saying thank you, it's like the universe, see it from this perspective. See the universe as the waiter, and if you're saying thank you already, they're going to give you more of what you asked for, more than what you asked for. So start to live in that state of gratitude, start to be appreciative for all these little things that are happening in your life, for the fact that you can see, for the fact that you can have all this positive, empowering stuff in your life. Just those little things. When you start to be grateful for them, you will one day have more to be grateful for. This doesn't happen in an instant, because the universe is going to say to you, the universe, God, infinite intelligence, higher power, whatever you believe is going to say to you, are you really willing to do whatever it takes to be happy? Okay. Let's test that. Let's test that. Let's make it a little bit difficult for you. Let's see if you can cope with a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, until one day you realise you're like, everything is on top of me, but I'm just going to be grateful. I'm just going to be grateful. Still taking action. Don't get me wrong. You can't just sit and just be grateful. Still taking action on what you want to achieve. Still taking action on who you want to become. But being grateful in that state, regardless of what's going on in your life. Living from a state of bliss, regardless of what's going on in your life. Everything's falling apart. Strategize. There's use in strategy, but if you can go into that strategy from a state of gratitude, from a state of acceptance, from a state of appreciation, then you will begin to make these dramatic shifts in your life. Step number 2, the secret to living is giving. I love this. you'll understand that when Tony Robbins said this, he said he just bawled his eyes out. He was crying in his car. He pulled over and he realized that he was working so hard, but he wasn't giving. When you start giving back, you feel fulfillment inside. I can't explain it just other than a full stomach for me, and it's going to be different for everyone. But when you really understand that the secret to living is giving, when you truly feel the most alive is when you're giving to others, when you're helping others, when you're teaching others, when you give someone homeless a bit of money. It may not be a lot of money, but when you do that, you feel something inside that is like, it just feels nice. And a little backstory for myself, I heard Tony Robbins talking about when he was very young, he'd mucked up in business and he lost a load of money and he was living on his own, had nothing, literally $20 left, and he went out to an all-you-can-eat buffet.
I ate all the stuff and I'm looking out there and it was a beautiful day and it was gorgeous. And so I got up to go pay, and as I got to go pay, in the front door walks this little boy, probably 8 years old, and 7, 8 years old. I don't know, there was something about this kid. He had this air about him, and he opened the door for his mother, and he pulled the chair out for her. And I don't know, something about it just struck me emotionally, very deeply. And I was just touched, thinking, this little boy has got so much heart and class. And so I walked up to him. I paid my bill and walked up to him, and I said hi, and I introduced myself, and I was nobody. Who the hell's Tony Robbins? No Tony Robbins. And he says,
who is this gigantic?
Yeah, that's funny. He's really thinking it's not there. And I said, I just want to tell you, I watched you for the last few minutes. I said, I watched you open the door for you later. I saw you pull out the chair. I saw the way you looking in her eyes and giving her full attention. I said, you are a class act. And he looked at me and I said, and taking her lunch, that's awesome. He goes, well, she's my mom. You know? And I said, that's even more cool. And they said, well, I'm not taking her lunch because I don't have a job yet. You know, I'm 8. You know, and I said, I looked at him. I said, yes, you are. And I didn't have any plan. I just reached in my pocket, took all the money I had in the world. It was like $19 and some change, whatever was left after that. And I just sat down in front of him in front of the table. And he looked up at me. His eyes got big as garbage can covers. He goes, what's that? And he smiled. I said, that's yours. He goes, I can't take that. And I said, yes, you can. He said, how come? I said, because I'm bigger than you are. And then I didn't say another word.
Every time.
I didn't say another word. I just turned. I didn't even look at his mom. I wasn't doing it for attention. And I walked out that door. And I didn't walk out that door. I flew out of that door, man. I had no car. I'm walking home, you know. I just felt like so alive. I felt so free.
When it feels right, just do it. Regardless of what your situation is, when it feels right, just do it. Don't hold back. Be kind, be giving, be caring. And he said he didn't just walk home that day, he flew home, knowing that he had nothing left, literally nothing left. Like $0.
And I should have been scared shitless. I got no money. I don't know where I'm going to feed myself. You gave away last minute. There wasn't an ounce of fear in me. It was like in that moment, scarcity died. It just died. It was out of my life. And I went home that night and I had no clue what I was going to do, but I was like excited and inspired, and I started writing out this plan, and I thought, well, people fast all the time. I can fast for 4 or 5 days. You know, it's probably good for me. Meal. You know, I can eat after that meal. And I got this little plan in my head, and I'm going to work it out. And I woke up the next morning and I had no fear in me, and I'm going to go work my plan, and the old snail mail arrived. And there I get this old envelope in the old days, right? Tear the thing open, and it's a check from the guy who wouldn't even return my phone call for more than $1,000, there's some interest in. And, you know, $1,200 in those days would cover my butt for 2 weeks to a month, right? You know, it was like, and I started to cry. And I'll never forget, I was thinking to myself, what does this mean? And I decided that meant that I was being rewarded for doing what's right, by not operating out of scarcity and fear. It was spontaneous, it was authentic, it felt right, and I did what felt right, and I was rewarded, and I believed in my mind, I still believe to this day, it may not be true, but that was grace. And so from that day forward, it was just like, just do more, give more, share more, create more, and what you need will be there. It's like air. You don't stop to think about when you take a breath whether it'll be there or not.
He made that decision to care for others, even though you don't know them, even though you don't know what's going on. That could have made that lady's day. She could have been struggling. She could have been taking her son out because it was his birthday and she couldn't afford it, and that was all she could afford. Like little things like that they will make your day. They will make you so much happier, I promise you. And I did this once, and it was inspired from Tony Robbins' story. And I remember I was coming home from a run, again, lost my job, had no money, had nothing, literally nothing, £20. So it's ironic that he had $20, I had £20. And the story had always stuck with me when I heard that. I was in the shop and I was paying for my food on my way back from my run. I was going to walk back from the shops, go and make some lunch. And it came to about £4 or £5. So again, there's about 15 left, and that was all of my money, like literally everything. And mum and sister, they couldn't afford too much at that moment in time. Anyway, we were all really struggling. And I remember there was an old lady behind me, and I don't know why, but it just felt like the right thing to do. And I said to the lady at the counter, I didn't give it to her, I said to the lady at the counter, can you just please leave this money for her and do this? And I don't know what it was, but it just, she was like, oh, you can't do that. And I was like, it's cool, I want to do that, I want to do that. And I felt, I can't even explain it, it's just, ugh. You really can't explain it. And when I did that, just like Tony Robbins said, I didn't walk home, I flew home. And I don't know what it was, and I realised I have nothing left. And soon that week, I actually got a call from a friend who said to me, do you want to work for a week? It'll be, I think it was £500 for the week. And I was like, yeah, obviously. And for me, that was really impactful at that time. Like, I couldn't afford that much money, I didn't have that much money. So when he offered me that, I was like, that's interesting. The secret to living is giving. And whether that is making a video, whether that is messaging someone, whether that is just spreading kindness, whether that's just giving someone a smile, it doesn't have to be monetary, but it was representational at that time that I did it, and that £20 really allowed me to feel so much within me, and it just made me feel fulfilled. When I had that feeling of fulfillment once, it was just, I want to duplicate this every single day. How can I duplicate this? My thing is, I always want to try and make people happy. That's why I make videos on TikTok, that's why I make videos on Instagram, YouTube, all these platforms, because I want to reach people and help them change their lives. I've had messages from people telling me I've helped them stop them from killing themselves. When I've had that beats any amount of money. Any amount of money. And I've gone from having absolutely nothing to then all of a sudden having a fair bit of money hit my account from my business. And I was like, whoa. So that feeling was great, but the feeling that someone told me that they were going to kill themselves and my videos stopped them, nothing can explain how fulfilling that really is. And it didn't start off that way. It didn't. It started off with me posting constantly until I could get traction, and it takes a while to build it up. But moving on to the third and final step is taking massive, gigantic, enormous action, regardless of what you're doing. You cannot sit in a box all day, just in a little tiny box, maybe a bit bigger for yourself. You cannot sit in that box all day and expect the love of your life to come up if you are not doing anything, and you are literally doing absolutely nothing. You are just sitting there, because your thoughts are not in alignment with your actions. Let me rephrase that. Your actions aren't in alignment with your thoughts. How do you manifest something? You think it, you feel it, it manifests itself. And when I say feel, I'll explain it in another video, but when I say feel, it's about really deeply feeling the emotions of what it would feel like for that to be already manifested into your life. So, if your thoughts are, I want to find the love of my life, your feelings must be that of love. Moving to your actions of, I am actively doing something to make myself feel love. Meditation, hypnosis. And if you want hypnosis, send me a message. We can go for a free subconscious mind analysis, and we can really see where you're at so that we can get you to where you want to be. Whether that's success, abundance, fulfillment, confidence, you name it, I'll be more than happy to help. So taking that massive action every day, it doesn't have to be the biggest, most extraordinary action. It just means taking massive action. For example, you want to start a company, you don't try and start a 50-person company off the back. You start by starting on your own. You start by starting with a business partner, and then eventually it grows. Nothing great happens overnight. And when you begin to understand this concept, that something that you always wanted will always be that much sweeter when you work for it, when you push yourself for it. Because think about it. And I'll use a great example. I used to have a pool table at my old house. We got it from a pub. I think it was a bit cheaper, and we got it from a pub. And I remember we would play that every single day, literally every day home from school, be playing on the pool table. After a couple of years, it was just taken for granted. We barely used it. I ended up putting wood on top of it and put a cloth over it so we could use it as a table instead. Now think about that. So many people would have loved that pool table, but we took it for granted because we didn't have to work for it. It was just there. It was just given to us. When you really work for something, it's so much sweeter. Now that I'm growing a following on social media, it's so much sweeter that I know that I've put in years of work, working to grow this, working to inspire, impact, and reach everyone that's watching this video. And if you're watching this video, I deeply appreciate you. And I also appreciate you that you're making these changes in your life, because you will completely thank yourself after this. And I guarantee you that you will. Because what you're doing right now is going to benefit your future, not just the future of yourself, the future of your family, your legacy, what you're trying to create in your life. You're here to make that difference. So I appreciate people like yourself that are making this difference. And also for watching my content, because it really helps me out. So I'm going to summarize this video. Be grateful, be giving, and take massive action. The 3 steps that I learned from Tony Robbins that honestly completely changed my life and allowed me to live the life that I'm living today, growing every day. I'm not at the goals that I want to hit right now. I'm still growing. I'm only just getting started. But it's all a process. We've got time, but that doesn't mean we've got time to waste. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from this video. If you have, like, comment. If you've got any questions, comment. Send me a message on Instagram. I'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. But I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. Keep spreading love, kindness, and so much positivity.